Hey everyone,
Happy Monday, guys.
Monday! Excited to see you all. For some people, it's Mindful Monday, others, it's a Motivational Monday. But if you're with us on Say That channel, you know it's the Monday
Oh, yeah.
Rundown.
Say that, say that, say that.
Yes, please go find us on Instagram. And there are some of you who might be familiar with us from Instagram for that reason. So hi, Instagrammers. So to distinguish what we do between now and our Wednesday shows, we get to talk about all the things that we don't get to talk about on our Wednesday show, which is typically focused around business. Today, we're going to talk about something really cool. What would life be like without touch? And so I'm really excited for that because I think there is something about touch that I feel like is very human. It kind of like creates our experience. I think it is literally like the human touch, right? Like we like it's a euphemism almost, right? Because there is something about connection through
Do
touch that
touch, yeah.
distinctly makes us human. And whether that's touching another human, which is definitely the human touch, or even, touching the grass, of, feeling the sand in between your toes, like just having that touch, that sensory experience, I think, so it makes us human.
No. That's a really great point. To add to that, I would say, yeah, it certainly wouldn't be what we understand life to be like now. Because even if we consider, even if you didn't have one of the other senses, like being blind, those people tend to obviously rely very heavily on touch. You can read braille; they can still read through braille, and other forms of communication. So I would definitely say, yeah, life certainly would not be how we know it now. It almost feels like it'd be very cold and distant. But this is a great question, so I'd love to jump into. I know we have a video that's going to talk a little bit about this.
Yeah, we're back with Mind and Health Body 101.
Love it.
Body and Mind Health 101.
It's a tongue
And
twister.
yes. They've been sharing some really great wisdom, so I'm happy to hear what they've got to say about this.
Let's do it.
Imagine a world without touch. Have you ever stopped to think about how much we rely on our sense of touch? Imagine a life where you couldn't feel a hug, the warmth of the sun on your skin, or even the texture of your favorite sweater. What would life be like if you didn't have a sense of touch? The role of touch in our lives. Our skin is our largest sense organ, making up about 16 to 18% of our body weight. It's incredibly versatile, capable of delivering and receiving complex and nuanced information. From our earliest moments, touch plays a crucial role in how we interact with the world. Long before we learn to speak, touch is our primary way of communicating. Think about how a baby relies on gentle touches from parents and caregivers. These touches are essential for socio-emotional development. In fact, research shows that the amount of maternal touch can predict the development of infantile social brain areas. Touch in adult life. As we grow, touch continues to be central in our lives, especially in our romantic and sexual relationships. Embracing, hugging, and kissing are primary ways we express affection and intimacy. Studies have shown that a higher frequency of touch is associated with greater feelings of intimacy in relationships. But what happens when touch is missing? Touch deprivation can lead to a host of negative outcomes, including anxiety, increased aggression, and a lower overall quality of life. Terms like out of touch or lost his touch highlight how essential this sense is to our well-being. The importance of touch across cultures. Touch varies widely across different cultures and contexts. A study surveying 14,000 individuals from 45 countries found that effective touch is most common in relationships with partners and children. Touch was more diverse in warmer, less conservative countries and among younger, female, and liberal individuals. This fundamental importance of touch has led to numerous touch-based interventions aimed at improving both physical and mental health. For example, massage therapy has been shown to reduce pain and stress while increasing levels of love hormone oxytocin. Scientific studies on touch. A recent study reviewed by a German behavioral neuroscientist, Julian Packiger, analyzed 75 studies and a meta-analysis of 137 more. The results were clear. Touch interventions have significant benefits for anxiety, depression, fatigue, and pain. Newborns, in particular, thrive on parental touch, which can regulate cortisol levels and increase weight. Interestingly, while physical benefits were similar whether the touch came from a person or an object, skin-to-skin contact carried unique mental health benefits.
Hmm.
This underscores just how irreplaceable human touch is. How much touch do we need? The study also explored how often and for how long touch should be delivered. For adults, the median touch duration was 20 minutes, with 4 sessions spaced about 2.3 days apart. For newborns, it was 17.5 minutes per session, with 7 sessions spaced 1.3 days apart. More frequent touch sessions increased benefit for adults, particularly for anxiety, depression, and pain. So, what would life be like without a sense of touch? It would be a world where our emotional and physical well-being could suffer significantly. We would miss out on the deep connections and the subtle yet powerful ways touch shape our daily experiences. Touch is more than just a sense. It's a vital part of what makes us human. If you found this thought experiment interesting, give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who might enjoy it. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more intriguing explorations into the human experience.
That was excellent. Seeing things like that make me wonder why. And I'm sure there's maybe there are groups of people who understand the value of this. But when they were talking, I've seen studies talking about how there are certain men right now who essentially haven't been touched in quite some time, and just what they're going through, a lot of depression, things like that. But to hear it from this context, it helped shed a lot of light on that area. That's huge. What do you think?
I love the reflection or the identification of how important touch is from when we're a baby. So like the maternal
Yeah.
touch, like being in constant contact. And I know in Asian cultures, for example, the mom, like their parents, both mom and dad, like never leave a baby alone. Where in Western society, it's like, oh, let the baby figure it out on its own, and like that like doesn't happen. It's like just a cultural difference, right? The norm is to always be around, and what does that mean? Like growing up, right? Like do
Long
those people,
term. Yeah.
better social skills? They're around each other more, that kind of a thing. And then I also like the identification of how much touch is helpful.
That was such a good one.
I heard that we need, as humans, you need 8 hugs a day for your mental health, for like good mental health.
Oh, that's so funny you thought of that. I actually, it's funny you mentioned hugs, because I was thinking, oh, I wonder how many hugs this would be. 8 a day?
8 a day.
There are people who go weeks and don't get 8 hugs.
Oh, 100%.
So you know what's so interesting with man, and I was watching something that was talking about just the type of information that's on the news and what we should be listening to. This to me should be a national crisis. What that information? No, seriously. Where imagine if they took that as seriously as some of the other things that are probably happening because of the lack of people who are not getting hugs. And it sounds, and even to me, as I say, it sounds silly and maybe simple enough. And life sometimes I feel like is just that. If people were getting more hugs, or in situations where they could be feeling like they can get more hugs and stuff, I wonder how much life would be easier for a lot of us.
So I love this, because this reminds me of 2 things. One, you and I used to go to events, major events, thousands of people would show up, and there were people who would have signs that would say free hugs.
Oh yeah. Oh, well done.
That was not intentional.
Auto triggered. That's hilarious.
Yes, that's great. So yes, right. And now I'm thinking, man, that actually held such a greater significance than I could have ever realized, right? Like now thinking like, wow, they were giving away free hugs. Like they were like helping with human mental health. And like, I had no clue, right? Like I was like, oh, okay, free hugs, whatever.
You know what would be cooler? Imagine if they did know. Imagine if the people behind the scenes, like the Marquesettas and them, imagine if they do know, if they recognize the power of something like that. And again, some of the things that were going on there that you don't, it's like there were deeper levels of things happening there that we weren't aware of then. It'd be so cool to go and talk to them and be like, yo, did you guys know that? And they were like, oh yeah, we saw a study that said that if you could get somebody to hug, that's why we wanted you to get hugged, and then come into the arena, you were way more receptive. I'd be like, oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So
okay, and
cool.
my second point that I want everyone to look up, if you're not aware of this already, it's called the Disney rule. Apparently, if you go to any Disney theme park, cruise, whatever, any Disney thing, right, where there are characters, like people dress up as the Disney characters, the Disney rule is if a child comes up to you and hugs you, the character cannot release the hug until the child does. So the child has to release the hug first. And this is because Disney himself realized the importance of a hug for children. And he was like, some children like need this. Like, you need to put the child's needs above the adults. And we get weird about the length of time, right? Like, I've seen so many videos of like the adults like, okay, Johnny, it's okay. Or
No,
okay,
it's long
Susie.
enough. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, like,
yeah, yeah. Even in movies, it's like a joke.
well, and this is just it. And they're like, no, they just keep hugging. And the character will not let go of the hug. Like, they will stay there and they will just keep cooing and making sure that the child feels, you know, like it's okay, everything's fine. It's really, it's wonderful. I've seen people write comments like, my inner child just got healed watching this. Like, it's really interesting. So go check that out if you haven't already. Again, just further confirming what this has been saying to us.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool. I love this.
Well, guys, this has been another great episode. If you've enjoyed this, or if you, how many hugs are you getting? Put that in the chat. How many hugs a day are you getting? Let us know. Is it 8? Is it less? What's going on? But until next week, as always, remember that you deserve the good life. Say that.
Say that. We'll see you guys. Peace.